Some very curious signals firing off for COSM. Let's go over those details right now. What is up, you guys? Thank you so much for stopping by once again on this fine Thursday. This is ARCa coming at you with the COSM technicals, raw price action, and statistical threat of analysis. Before we get started, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the video with a friend so that you and them could consider joining our trading community and Discord called ARCab. With that said, let's dive right into the charts. Okay, so COSM on the daily. Okay, so this is the same old chart that we've been looking at for quite some time, the broadening descending wedge, right? If you can all remember. All right, so the reason why I'm touching on this chart first is because yesterday we talked about a potential downside, and we should always look at the just in case bottom side target here. Okay, so that that support range, the emergency support range that I told you about, is absolutely being used right now, and it has printed a very nice candle here. Okay, so this is it's still considered to be a bullish hammer, and this is the reason why is because the body is closer to the top side than it is to the bottom side. Now, however, I do wish that this wick was a little bit lower, okay, to actually make that actual confirmation here. But usually when we print candles like this at the bottom of a downtrend, these can be succeeded to the upside with the confirmation of the following candle. Okay, so the following candle would actually have to be a bullish candle, and that would essentially confirm what a candle structure called it's called the abandoned baby, I believe. Okay, so and I'm not sure if that was actually the one on the top or the bottom, but yeah, this is usually a kind of a reversal confirmation. Okay, but let's go ahead and just validate that before we actually make some rash decisions here that can, affect our portfolios. So let's just go ahead and look at another chart here, and this is the statistical side of the analysis that I would like to touch on right now because as you can see, momentum is actually starting to make a pivot from a very oversold percentile. Okay, it's very similar to an RSI, so we can treat it as such. Okay, so now if we're talking historically, of course, our current position right now, I'll make a trend line here. Of course, we only have a couple iterations that have a few iterations, sorry, that have been lower than where we are right now. So, but if you have noticed, we have reversed from the current area several times. Okay, so the what I'm basically trying to say is that the upside is starting to show a little more probability. Okay, so now what we do want is for the momentum averages to be corrected and pitched to the upside. Why? Because I've actually performed the back test of momentum in particular, this indicator in particular, to, let's see, several tickers, and I'm getting about a 75 to about a 91% read in guessing the accuracy, in guessing the asset's direction. Okay, so that's looking pretty good and is not bad at all. Okay, so what I want to now point out is another thing, and it's in the volatility spectrum here. So volatility is still contracting. Okay, so we're actually contracting towards the downside and now facing this corrective move to the upside. Okay, so as long as we do maintain our downside posture on volatility, since it is direction neutral, if we continue this contraction phase in the manner of which we're in, and momentum starts to curve towards the upside, our statistical play is back on. Okay, so now it's very close to firing that signal yet again. Okay, and what is that signal? Well, throughout the entire trading history of COSM on the daily chart, I have taken a back test of volatility versus momentum. Okay, and I've actually done this back test by hand. So let's go over some of those details. Okay, so let's see. Here are the results, and we have noticed that out of total 35 iterations where volatility versus momentum have guessed the upside correctly, 29 were the count, to be exact, out of those 35. Okay, so that gives us an averaged upside accuracy of 82.85%. So it's pretty it's up there. Okay, I would like the iteration count to be a lot higher. I personally would like a minimum of about 70 or 80, but 35 still gives us some historical data that we can at least consider for our play. Okay, so now the averaged upside thrust is corrected to 100 spot 378% to the upside. Okay, so that average upside is corrected based on the 1 to 25 reverse split that we recently encountered. Okay, so now this upside thrust was actually figured before the split ratio. Okay, so upon that split ratio, the statistical mean has been adjusted to 100%. Okay, and that would happen essentially over the span of about 13 and a quarter days. Now, the signal is very close to being fired off. We need both of the averages from momentum to be pitched to the upside, and then we could actually make that count start the 13 and a quarter day, right? So let's go ahead and move on to the next chart now, as the Crypstex ARC-Series indicators are flashing a very interesting signal here that we have not seen in quite some time. And I'm talking about particularly too, since since about 2 days ago we saw the last long signal. Okay, so these indicators are actually in partnership with Crypstex Trading. They have since endorsed me since they believe in my trading style, and they have given me access to a set of very nice tools that we can consider for our trades. Okay, this particular indicator is comprised of several exponential moving averages, all algorithmically placed very close in proximity for us to gauge this directional wave, or a wave of motion, right? So in this wave of motion, we're able to get long and sell signals. Okay, so in this particular situation, we are noticing that we have a new long signal printed from the last candle printed today. Okay, so this is a very, very good sign since we haven't seen it in quite some time. Now let's move on to the last part of the analysis, that is, it will be the RSI chart. Okay, so in this case, the immediate short-term 30-minute time frame is suggesting a continuation to the upside. The four zones that you're looking at in this diagram here are actually these four zones on the live chart. Okay, so take a gander at them, as I will be mentioning these zones very often. All right, so right now, as you can see, the 30-minute immediate short term is right at the junction between the bear strength percentile and the bear weakness percentile, suggesting a continuation to the upside. And usually when we are at these borders, the upside gravitational pull is 100% probable, okay, or possible. So now the bi-hourly time frame is suggesting a continuation to the upside as well. Please do mind that we have the 14-day simple moving average as a form of resistance right above us as well, and I'm talking about the purple RSI signal line. Okay, so we're gonna piece all these puzzle pieces together and then get that overall bias right at the end of this. So we do have upside continuation suggestions from the 6-hour time frame as well, but it looks like it could be a little limited since we do have that 14-day moving average as a resistance, similar to what happened here in yesterday, actually. So please notice, 2 days ago. So please notice that there is the possibility of using that moving average as a form of resistance before a continuation to the downside. Okay, so now the daily time frame is slightly bearish, and it's still reflecting that sideways trading that we've been looking at for quite some time. But the bias overall for the immediate short term, and potentially all tomorrow, let's see, maybe till the end of the day we could face some correction. So what this is telling me is that basically we actually may be trading the ranges again. So the upside may have us succeed our current range once again, and then face some further sideways trading based on the RSI and momentum suggestions. Okay, please know I'm not a financial advisor. Take whatever I do show and iterate within these videos as just a form of entertainment. Okay, as I can actually suggest for you to buy or sell any assets. Okay, do your own DD and everything will be just fine, you guys. All right, so if you need to get in touch with me, please refer to the links in the description below, because I will have the Twitter there and the Discord for your convenience. And yeah, but I think this is it for the video. That's actually all I have to say. I wish you well, a very good night, and I will catch you at the bell mañana. Adios.